Welcome to Breaking News to Trading Moves. We're jumping straight into some really significant news today, stuff that's been reported across Reuters and The Guardian. The U.S. and Britain, they're apparently set to sign a major new nuclear power pact.
Yeah, that's right. And this isn't just, political pageantry. An agreement like this can send immediate, very real ripples through the markets.
Exactly. So what we want to do in this deep dive is unpack what that means for traders and investors. We'll be looking at the potential winners and losers that our sources have flagged.
It's always fascinating, isn't it, how policy announcements translate almost instantly into market expectations. And this pact, it really does throw a spotlight on the evolving energy landscape. For market watchers, certain companies, certain sectors, they suddenly have these clear tailwinds.
Or headwinds, right?
Or headwinds, precisely. We're going to try and connect those dots for you.
Okay, let's get right into it then. A pact like this, it logically creates beneficiaries. Our sources are pointing to a few key sectors. Who are we talking about? What makes them stand out as winners here?
Well, the most direct beneficiaries, you'd have to say, are the companies involved with small modular reactors, SMRs, and the traditional nuclear original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs. We're talking tickers like RYC, EY, SMR, and BWXT.
Okay, RYCY, SMR, BWXT. And what's special about the SMRs in this context?
So what's really interesting post-Pact about SMRs is their design. They're modular, mostly factory-built. That means potentially faster deployment, less on-site construction risk compared to, the huge traditional plants.
Faster capital turnover, maybe.
Exactly. So this pact could really accelerate projects for the firms leading in SMR tech.
So it's not just more nuclear power, it's potentially a different type of nuclear deployment that benefits these specific companies.
Yeah.
What else? Who else wins?
Right. So beyond the reactors themselves, you've got to think about what fuels them. That brings in the whole fuel cycle and enrichment sector. Companies like Chemeco, that's CCJ, Centrus Energy, LEU, and NextGen Energy, NXE.
CCJ, LEU, NXE.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely critical. They supply the raw uranium and do the processing, the enrichment needed to actually power these facilities. Any expansion in nuclear capacity, well, it directly boosts demand for their services upstream.
Makes sense. You build more reactors, you need more fuel. Simple as that. And building them.
Ah, yes. Can't forget the builders. The engineering, procurement, and construction firms, the EPCs, and related service providers. Think Fluor, FLR, or Jacob Solutions, which is just J.
FLR and J.
These firms are the ones who actually manage and execute the building of these massive, complex projects. From the initial designs, getting the materials, the actual construction, getting it all running. Their expertise is just indispensable.
Okay, so it really sounds like the entire nuclear supply chain, from fuel to construction to the reactors themselves, is potentially getting a pretty significant boost here. But, market shifts usually have two sides. If nuclear is gaining momentum, who potentially loses out? Where might we see challenges?
That's the crucial flip side, absolutely. This kind of targeted push for nuclear inevitably creates, losers, or at least sectors facing serious new challenges. Thermal coal companies, for instance. Names like Peabody Energy, BTU, Consol Energy, CEIX, Arch Resources, ARC.
CEIX, Arch. Okay, coal. Why them specifically?
Well, policy is increasingly favoring low-carbon energy sources, right?
Yeah.
And thermal coal, which is already under environmental pressure, likely sees an accelerated decline, especially in places where nuclear now looks like a scalable, politically attractive alternative for baseload power. It's direct competition.
So it's kind of piling on to existing trends, making it tougher for coal. Are other energy sectors affected, even, say, within renewables?
Potentially, yes. It's interesting. Offshore wind developers, think Ørsted, that's Ørsted.co over in Copenhagen, or Vestas Wind Systems, VWS.co.
Ørsted and Vestas. But they're renewable, too.
They are, but the thinking here is that government support, investment focus, R&D funding these resources are finite. If nuclear becomes the big strategic priority, offshore wind might see maybe reduced prioritization or just tougher competition for that government backing and capital.
Right, it's sort of crowding out effect, perhaps.
It could be, yeah. And there's one more, a rather specific area our sources highlighted: standalone diesel generators for data centers. Companies like Caterpillar, CAT, and Cummins, CMI.
CAT and CMI, diesel gensets. How do they fit in?
Well, the implication seems to be a broader strategic shift. If you're building out more robust, stable, large-scale grid power with new nuclear capacity, then maybe the reliance on smaller, sometimes less efficient diesel backup systems for critical infrastructure like data centers decreases over time.
Okay, so this pact isn't just about power plants. It suggests a potential shift in how we think about grid stability and even backup power infrastructure. It's a really powerful reminder, isn't it? How these big government agreements can ripple out and affect quite diverse industries in very tangible ways.
Absolutely. And that leads to a key question for you, the listener, to think about. Beyond these immediate winners and losers we've discussed, how might these shifts ripple further into adjacent industries, maybe even global supply chains or commodity markets? It's worth considering how these focused government pacts, even on something like nuclear energy, can create these wide-reaching impacts across your entire investment landscape.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
Huh.
And just a quick important reminder before we wrap up. This discussion, this deep dive, it's not financial advice. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell any stocks or securities mentioned. It's simply our analysis and interpretation of the information and opinions found in the source materials we reviewed, presented for your information only.